Welcome to Clinic Success Secret, where we uncover the strategies and insights that drive clinic growth and excellent patient care. Today, we're really going to dive deep into getting some real expert advice on the tech side of things. And we're going to hear from some success stories from some true healthcare leaders all across the globe. Today, it is my honor to host two key people in the RiseApps team, represented by Viktoriia, Head of Sales and Business Development, and Julius, who is the Chief Technology Officer. For anybody that doesn't know, RiseApps stands at the forefront of healthcare technology today. They're trusted by Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 organizations for their transformative approach to digital solutions. Viktoriia, who's going to be speaking today, leads initiatives to enhance revenue streams for healthcare clinics and tech companies by grading legacy systems, which we all know can be a headache, and implementing advanced digital patient experiences, including but not limited to custom patient portals, EHR, and telehealth solutions. They have a track record of over 70 launched healthcare digital health solutions and having raised $145 million in funding for healthcare startups. RiseApps really are bringing unparalleled expertise when it comes to solving critical industry challenges. So listen, with that being said, today's discussion, we're going to be diving into some crucial considerations for clinic owners and doctors when selecting software development partners, what kind of role AI playing in the future of healthcare, and strategies for making sure we have seamless implementation of custom software solutions. So that being said, listen, Julius and Viktoriia, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here today.
It's a pleasure to be a part of this podcast, Thomas. Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks, Thomas.
Really looking forward to it. So I'm not sure how we want to play this in terms of who's answering the questions, but let's start off, right back to the start. Can you please tell us a bit more about who RiseApps are, and what kickstarted this growth to becoming the leader in health tech solutions that you guys are today?
So let me start, I guess. As you, Thomas, already mentioned about us, so we are a software development company for the health tech industry, and we've been operating for 8+ years in the market. Fortunately, or unfortunately, maybe the beginning of this story is not related neither to me, nor to Julius. And the beginning of the story is related to our CEO, Vlad Shlepo. And the background of the story and why actually we are here in health tech industry, not in any other one, that he is from the medical family. He's the whole family is doctors. And because of that, all the time since his childhood, he was acquainted to this industry. And one day he decided that his mission is to make people's life better and to make people happier, healthier, and improve their life. And that's why our mission is to develop around 1,000 of health tech products, just to improve the lives of millions of people.
Wow, that's definitely admirable. And was there a particular gap in the market that was spotted when founding RiseApps? Or to bring it up to today, what are some of the main challenges that you guys see in healthcare businesses and medical clinics when it comes to trying to find tech solutions for the businesses?
Yeah, so actually, initially we tried to focus on finding the perfect spot where we can bring our expertise and help to the clients. And we found out that with strong UI UX experience and strong UX UI team, we can start from the bringing the more comfortable and user-friendly experience for the end users, for the patients who came to the clinics, since all this legacy not comfortable systems create a lot of distractions, and a lot of clinics use multiple systems, so there is a lot of gaps between integration one to another one, and didn't help the physicians and doctors to speed up the actually process of the providing services to the end users, to the patients. So we started from solving the issue of the patients portals, where the patients can book, schedule their visits, upload some personal health informational data. And after that, we organically go to the integration of the artificial intelligence to speed up the overall experience for the physicians, where they can do quick summaries, some tips for each patient, hear some voice notifications about the background about specific patients. For example, if I'm just a physician who drive a car and going to the patient's house, I can hear the information about this patient like a podcast during the traveling, instead of reading the whole healthcare information about the patient during actually before the visit. So this saves a lot of time. And after that, we organically move it to more complex AI solutions with image classification on X-rays. We have actually one former X-ray physicians who working with this. We have optical solutions that give possibility for some optical industries to replace their physical cameras, special and very expensive cameras. We replaced this with just Apple iPhone cameras with AI.
Wow. Wow, that's incredibly broad, and it's exciting even hearing you talking about just how many opportunities for improvement there are in healthcare right now. It's only when you list it off you're reminded just how many inefficiencies are currently in place, and by extension, just how much room there is for improvement. With that being said, do you find that there's quite consistent themes in terms of what clinic owners are looking for when it comes to health, to technology improvements? Or is each project completely different? Are there any themes that you find, any trends that we should be aware of?
I would say that usually it's more unique and individual experience. If clinics search for some typical solutions, there is a lot of different SaaS and vendors who can provide typical solutions. Well, as soon as you start thinking out of the box on how to improve the efficiency of your clinic, solve some more complex solutions, or some very domain-specific stuff, in this case, actually, you need to go and find out the team of experts who can create such solutions. So I would say that it's not consistent industry. It's more like always challenging with finding something that not exist on the market yet, and solve these issues to give some competitors advantage for the clinics.
Interesting. A question that I want to ask as well is, so on my end, obviously, a clinic success partners were digital marketing specialists for healthcare and clinic businesses. And a consistent challenge that we see is, integrations between perhaps EMRs slash ERPs and some other tools. There may be a lack of, API connection between there and marketing tools, email marketing, and so on. As a result, and for many other reasons, a lot of clinic owners that I talk to are usually frustrated with their current EMR and ERP setup. And when it comes to selecting those solutions for EMR and ERP technology, what are some main things to consider when it comes to selecting the best option?
There is no silver bullet solution how to select best EMR system. It's always consists maybe from three key elements. First of all, it's the cost of the tool and ownership of this tool. Second one would be what percentage of the clinic needs this tool cover. So yes, this takes some time for research, but it's something beneficial from the return of investment to research properly the tools that would fit for the clinic needs right now. And third, very important element, if there any expertise in clinic or from one of the partners with the considered tools, because this can save a lot of time. And even if the tool is not perfect fit for the clinic, with correct expertise with the specific tool, it could be solved. From the integration perspective, if touch the aspects that you mentioned before, how to integrate with ERP, with marketing tools, I would say that the world is changing. 3 years ago, it would be, in most cases, individual development for each integration. Now we have a lot of already built-in integrations, like from EHR and EMR systems, plus we have universal glue like Zapier for connecting different systems. So I would say that the space on the market for the integration of different systems, one to another one, it would be shrinked in time, and potentially with current tense, maybe in next 5 years, this needs would be solved totally and disappear for the companies as individual development market.
That's exciting. And to piggyback off that, you mentioned certain tools like Zapier and so on that can connect these tools to marketing platforms. Are there certain things for people to keep in mind? Obviously, the buzzword in a lot of the medical space, HIPAA compliance. Are there sort of compliance issues that people need to keep in mind when integrating with different tools, such as, for example, Go High Level or, common marketing tools that people are using?
This is a very good question, actually, because I would say that compliances and different informational security policies is a most headache part of the whole industry. To keep this everything in compliance, it's not just a question about what tools to select, and not just a question how to properly select initially. It's more about the continuous audit of all chosen tools and about keeping the everything insecure. So short answer on this, it would be that if company doesn't have yet any GRC system or any in-house officer who responds for the informational security and compliances, then potentially there might be a high chance of the penalties and some issues, no matter if tools that they're integrating HIPAA compliant or not. Because at the end, it's a question about how you integrate this tool, not just what you're integrating. And during this integration, for example, there is good email solution that send emails to the patients. And they might be HIPAA compliant, but you may expose some sensitive information about the patient if you send it in, if you build your marketing emails in inappropriate way. For example, you have predictions that this group of end users may have issues with some kind of diseases, and you send them email prospect that give information about how you can help with this diseases to this end users. Since they don't have yet information that they potentially have these diseases, and they didn't came to the doctors with some questions or recommendations about this, they can think that we are spying on them and use their information for some kind of feeding it to some third-party partners, maybe artificial intelligence or analytical tools, to predict that they have this illness and sell them extra services. As this would be some cases when they can go with claim that we share their information without their consent. So in general, the short answer is that you need to have some officer who responds to this, or some governance tools that keep compliance on track.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's a whole box. So I might have to ask a few more questions on it, because it's super interesting. It's kind of this black box that a lot of people are afraid of. We're going to talk about AI in a few minutes, but one question that comes to mind for me that I'd love to know is, when it comes to the role of AI in healthcare apps, I would imagine using large language models like, ChatGPT, and so where I'm going with this, is probably a bit of a no-go, because you don't want to be giving away that personal information in order to remain compliant. How does the interplay of AI look between, with healthcare solutions today? And does that affect compliance? Are there certain absolute no-goes, or, what do you have to make sure you keep in mind when integrating AI solutions to your tech?
We have one key non-formal rule for artificial intelligence. We never give artificial intelligence to judge or give some recommendations for the patients. So we can integrate ChatGPT, we can integrate anything, but it can work only as assistant for the physicians. So this is, I would say, the key moment with the whole artificial intelligence bust in the health tech industry. In general, we can integrate OpenAI, ChatGPT, for example. They have HIPAA compliant version of their services. We can integrate isolated Llama instance or mixed real LLM. And in this case, we would have isolated servers versus LLMs executed. So we are HIPAA compliant in this case and don't expose any sensitive information. The only problem with any artificial intelligence that they have a lot of hallucinations. So since it's not real human, you can think about any large language models as very, very intelligent T9. So it can suggest you some next words for the writing the sentence or next sentences, but they don't have any context about the real situation of the real world. More fancy and interesting usage of artificial intelligence right now for the health tech industry sits at the voice synthesis and voice recognition, because it's not so fantastical for the end users, but it's more practical for the physicians. For example, like we have right now under any video conference, transcriptions of what and who are saying. Same story for the physicians. Instead of making manually notes about what concerns and problems have patients, they can use for this speech-to-text recognition AIs. They just generate the transcription of this visit and save the time for physicians. LLMs use it today mostly for summarizing the long medical notes and gives a quick summary. So instead of rereading all the medical history, physicians can just get the most important and quick items from the whole history to just get the context of the current visit of the patient. And from the fantastical side of the, or let's say sci-fi side of the health tech, stands with the artificial intelligence built on the data analytical part and predictions, global trends predictions. So, for example, there is Dynamo initiative at Europe, where they try to predict the pandemics like we have with the coronavirus. So they want to predict such pandemics based on the historical data, plus some key information that they can get from the outer world with using different LLMs for analyzing news and newsletters to understand what's happening right now, combine this together, and to predict some risk of different disasters or epidemic situations in different regions. And this give us some kind of mini report experience for the health stack, and potentially in next couple of years we would be able to predict new epidemics or pandemic situations with quite high precision, and we would be able to understand when to start the vaccination program, how to prevent such situations, and save a lot of lives without the cases like we have with coronavirus.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there, and I'm conscious of anybody listening that may not have a technical background. So I'll try and reiterate my understanding from what I remember, and you correct me where I'm wrong. So for anyone who doesn't understand what an LLM is, stands for large learning model. And basically, you think of ChatGPT, as you said, it's basically sort of predictive text on steroids. It's sort of effectively, that's ultimately what it is. And it doesn't actually, an important thing for people to remember is it doesn't actually understand the context behind it. Effectively, it's just really complex statistics that fundamentally are really, really good at guessing what gaps are being filled in. And the reason, and on your end, what you're basically saying is that while it's incredibly powerful, it's important to make sure that AI is not used to actually make the decision, so to speak, because it can, what is called as hallucinate. And hallucinate is basically wildly guessing, but speaking that authoritatively that it sounds like it's a fact. And anyone that used ChatGPT in the early days will be able to verify that that's the case. Another thing that you mentioned just now is the fact that there is a version of the ChatGPT API which is HIPAA compliant. That's actually news to me. I did not know that. That's really, really interesting and powerful. And as I understand it, your analysis is today, some of the biggest opportunities are simply speech to language transcription and vice versa. So that doctors can understand the 20% of information that is, probably the most relevant before the meetings even come in. And as you said, then what some avenues to look at in the future are the analysis of data for early prediction of new diseases and things like that by picking up patterns across forums and newsletters and things like that, so we can respond to disease faster. Would that be fair? I could be missing.
Yeah, absolutely correctly. Sorry, I'm a little bit nerdy in such technical professional. So
I'm ready too. That's why it's important to translate it. No, listen, really, really interesting and exciting stuff. So we learned about what AI is. For anyone that's again, wants to find out more, they can get in contact with you guys about how this actually looks. But bringing it back to what you've done previously, can you run through what the process usually looks like when there's a clinic owner or a healthcare business owner that comes to you and says, "Hey, Lulii and Viktoriia, we have a system. It's outdated. It's clunky. There are certain features it's missing. There's inefficiencies." At a high level, what does the process look like to migrate from a legacy system to a newly optimized tech system, perhaps created by RiseApps or somebody else?
Mm-hmm. So usually we involve business analysts with healthcare experience and solution architect who would review actually how currently their operational processes happens at clinic, what they do, how they use their current system, what they don't use, what the pain points they have, what happens outside of the system because system doesn't provide functionality for this. And based on this, business analysts build new user flows, how actually new systems should work. So instead of focusing how to replace legacy system with something new, we're trying to build very, very custom and more specific for the end clinic user cases and experience to solve their problems and improve the efficiency of their employees. As soon as we get the whole essence of the flow, we introduce UI UX designer who start thinking how to make this as simpler as possible and quick for the interaction for the end users. And based on this, we design later technical architecture solution and pick this into development flow. Usually this discovery phase take from couple weeks to couple months. It depends on the complexity of the industry and the area where the clinic works. For example, if we take plastic surgery, the big pain for them is to have with the preview of how actually patient would look like after the plastic operations. Based on this, we can came to the non-obvious solutions that, okay, the one of the parts of the system should be augmented reality preview of the new face of the patient. So it should work like Instagram filters.
Yeah.
And based on this, we can, okay, this is how much it would cost to create this solution. This is the return of investments period. And this is what you would receive and how much time you would save for your physicians and actually what wow factor or wow effect you would get from the patients.
Yeah. So that's incredible. This is something that you've built before where I would imagine as players, this is probably incredibly powerful.
This solutions that we right now making for one of our clients, we started discussion initially to understand their pain points and made proof of concept solution for them before they make decision, okay, this is something that we wanted. And right now we're creating this solution for them.
What are some
And
other
actually
examples? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, and sorry. And actually it's one of the common flaws that before proposing some complex solutions, we trying to build the proof of concept. So give something that the end users can try and just give the feedback. Okay, this is something that we wanted.
I love that sort of a try before you buy kind of thing. Just a little sample of what the finished concept would look like. I'm sure there are a lot of clinic owners now or healthcare business owners that are thinking like, wow, okay, that's a great idea. I don't really know what solution I could need though, is. Can you give other examples of, other examples of solutions that you've built for clients before and what sort of impact that has had for their businesses?
Yeah, if we take, let's say, more common or general example, we have quite significant amount of customers who came with requests that they need telemedicine solution, classical story with patient portal, video calls, with skipping and tracking EPHA information. Usually they have some EHR system, so they don't want to migrate from this EHR. So they just want to extend its capabilities with a more custom white label telemedicine experience. And we built such patient portals, mobile applications integrated with EHRs. If you take, for example, case of the Black Doctor, they rise at 100, actually get more than $100 million in revenue based on this. From other clients, if we take other similar cases, there was, for example, case when the clients, I'm not allowed to say their name to the NDI, but there gets extra investments of the $25 million based on that they introduced new solution and shows us to their board of the ownership of the company.
Wow. And that definitely, as I said, the proof of the pudding there. And if anybody wants to find out more information about these, they can just check out the RiseApps website, which will be in the description of this video and podcast episodes and all that. So say I'm a clinic owner, right? And I'm just giving this, could be a clinic owner, could be any sort of medical professional, and I want to find a provider for this. And it could be you guys or it could be someone else. What are some key things to look out for to make sure I'm making the right decision when it comes to
Okay, first of all, it would be experience. The company should have expertise in this area. They should understand what they're doing. Just simple case example. If you want to build health tech startup at Switzerland, you need to know their local legal limitations because they don't have any relationship to HIPAA. HIPAA is totally United States story. And the penalties are quite high. And if you not correspond to their limitations and compliances, potentially your startup would be died with first penalty without actually reach any profit on the market. So experience and understanding of the domain area is key factor. Second very important factor is that you need partner who wouldn't disappear after the project would be delivered. They should be able to provide some maintenance packages and not just provide some free developers to support your project. It should be the same developers who worked on initial development of the project, because they should know the context of this specific project and how it's made. Third very important factor is an independent proof of this specific providers that they are capable to deliver these products. It could be social proof, it could be different certifications, compliances, like ISO, high trust, anything else that give you strong understanding that they not just claim that they can deliver the solutions. They have independent audit and proof that they are capable to do this, and you wouldn't have any penalties for the products that they would deliver. And maybe last one item, but not least, that just keep in mind always that the health tech industry have a lot of compliances and a lot of complexity at the same time. This is why you can't go to some random common development vendor who develop anything, not just health tech industry focused, and order the product. Yeah, it usually would be cheaper because there is a lot of cheap development houses nowadays. But they wouldn't be able to deliver something that satisfy your needs because they just have experience to develop general mobile applications, and they wouldn't be responsible in case if they fell in any compliances or have any cybersecurity issues. At the end, you wouldn't be able to put some penalties on them because according to the law, usually penalties applied only to the clinics. Well, except HIPAA case. HIPAA case includes the shared responsibility if you sign a shared responsibility agreement. But I would say that it would be very tricky to get penalties from some remote company.
That's a very, very good point to remember when making that selection. At the end of the day, you know, you're the point of contact with the patient. So if ever there's a case not to cut corners and to do your due diligence, it's again to make sure, you know, it's the technology provider that's going to be dealing with that data. And I've two questions for leave you guys. Number one, how can a clinic owner ensure a smooth implementation of a custom software solution when making that migration from, you know, what they've been doing so far? I'm sure there's that fear of losing, you know, a lot of existing data How does that transition process look like, and how can you ensure it's smooth?
Actually, it's not a magic. SaaS HIPAA requires the implementation of FHIR protocol, and it's quite strict. So it's possible to migrate all data based on the data that should be stored according to the FHIR standard, HL7 FHIR standard. The more tricky moments that if you take, for example, solutions like Epic or Cerner or any other big system, they have much more than just information from FHIR standard. They keep a lot of very unique information that in most cases need to be identified by the technical specialist and business analyst during the investigation and audit of the current system. And after that, they need to combine this founded information together with the discovered usage flows, how the systems use it, to find the gaps. Is this information connected and use it in the today operational activity, or maybe it's just extra information that's not needed in regular activity and could be just stored as archive for some late analysis or some other usage. But in general, it's always about the professional audit and identifying that something that goes out of the box.
It's a great answer. And then lastly, the question I would ask is, you've already touched on this with the leveraging AI for predicting new diseases and things like that. What other trends do you see coming up over the next maybe 10 years? That could be a very long time frame. I'll even say 3 to 5 years that healthcare business owners should be conscious of and potentially excited for, things to look out for.
I believe that telemedicine together with artificial intelligence and augmented reality would make big shift in the common habits, how we visit doctors. Instead of real visits, we would have more e-visits and some virtual symptom analysis. And since we have more and more clever algorithms to identify what's happening with my body, we have more and more wearable devices like Apple Watch that already can identify a lot of more physical parameters and biological parameters. So the part of the telemedicine would be increased while the offline visits became something that more rare cases when we really need to be in touch with the physicians. And actually, one of the potential trends that I see for the next 3 to 5 years that telemedicine would take significant part under the plastic surgery industry, dental surgery, and eye care industries, because a lot of this a lot of procedures that we have during visit to these physicians, we can replace now with technology. Some technology already exists, some started, and we can find white papers about how we can build, for example, 3D models of our tooth. And in this case, with some clever AI algorithms, we can replace visit to the dentist, for example, with just scanning with our phone, our mouse, and based on this, dentist would be able to say, okay, here we need to put brackets or veneers or do some plumbing without be in physical contact with us.
When you say it like that, that's such an obvious trend that I'm shocked that I've never thought of. When you say, because the cameras are getting so good, you can buy that with some 3D modeling. Exciting times to be in healthcare. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to look at the time, and we might have to leave it at that. But I'm sure we'll do this again. I'm sure I'll have some more questions, and I'm sure people can learn a lot more. Where can people find out more about what you guys do at RiseApps, and what's the best way of getting in contact?
Yeah, I guess they can they can check our website. And yeah, they can either find me or Yuli on LinkedIn and just write a direct message. We schedule usually an intro call as a first touch, just to identify the needs, to tell more about us, and to see how we can help and whether we can be helpful. Or they can just find a contact form on our website. Maybe it will be even an easier way to get in contact with us.
Brilliant. And all forms on your website are combined, so it's all good. All right. Listen, thanks so much for everything, guys, and I look forward to the next one already. Cheers.
Yes, thanks, Thomas.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.